Welcome to Charles Darwin University's Avoiding Plagiarism Clinic. This is resource number 2, in which we look at how to paraphrase and how to correctly cite your sources in text. But let's begin by looking at what is required in your writing at university. So, writing an essay or a report at university answers a question, and it does that using a combination of your research and your analysis of your research, which from now on we'll call your ideas. So, writing is essentially research and your analysis which can answer a question. So, whose idea is whose in your writing? Well, if there's no in-text reference near an idea, it suggests that it's your idea. Conversely, if you're using the work of someone else, research that you read somewhere, you need to acknowledge that author, and you need to show the reader where that information comes from and whose idea it is. So, in summary, if there is no reference, it is your idea. However, if it's not your idea, if it's from research, then whose research, that needs to be shown with an in-text citation. So, how do we use the work of other writers? Essentially, we are paraphrasing the work of other writers. So, paraphrasing is when you put the research of others into your own words, keeping the original meaning and doing so in a clear way. Of course, after that we want to add an in-text citation. But why do we need to paraphrase the writing of other people? Why not use direct quotes? In other words, the exact words we see in the research. Firstly, direct quotes can interrupt your writing. And secondly, how would it even be possible to give a direct quote of a 20-page journal article? It's definitely not possible, so we need to paraphrase. Often we are paraphrasing and summarizing together. So, what's the best way to paraphrase? Of course, you need to read the text several times, well enough to understand it. You need to then write some notes that could be in the form of bullet points about the text that you've read, then close that article or book and rewrite that idea in your words. Of course, then we're going to add an in-text reference. So, don't cut and paste and change 2 words. This is plagiarizing. Rather, take 2 ideas, 2 keywords, and write the rest in your words. This is paraphrasing. So, let's look at paraphrasing a sentence. I've determined that this sentence can somehow assist me in my essay, which is looking at codes of ethics. And this sentence is suggesting that codes of ethics are increasing, and it's accompanied with an increase in research. So I've highlighted here the main ideas in this sentence, and now here they appear as dot points. 2 things happening at the same time. So with my dot points, I'm now able to create my new sentence. So I've used the synonym of coinciding, and I've said coinciding with the increase in codes of ethics is research into what those codes include. So now I've put the author's ideas into my words, but there's one thing missing, because this is not my idea, not my research. It's actually the research of Singh. So even though I put it into my words, I paraphrased Singh's idea, I still need to acknowledge that he did this research and not myself. Let's look at this with a longer text. And so here we have a paragraph. Again, I've determined that this paragraph can support my answer to the question. And this paragraph here looks at the benefits of codes of ethics. So I've read it a few times. I think these are the key points in this paragraph. These are all the benefits and positives of codes of ethics. Enhancing reputation, giving a positive impression, and building a sense of community in a corporation. So from my dot points, I was able to write this, that a code of ethics improves reputation, creates a good impression, and builds a community of shared values. So I've put that idea now into my words. Of course, I still need to acknowledge Singh, and in this case I've put his name and year, and you see this is Harvard style referencing here. sing's name at the start of the sentence. Of course, because I've referenced in text here, sing is also going to appear in my reference list, and you can check the referencing guide for the appropriate APA or Harvard entry for this journal article. So, how do I add my idea? I now have sing's idea, and this is the same sentence from before, and you can see here I've added to the end of sing's. However, some authors suggest that codes of ethics are inefficient. This is my idea, and now I'm going to go on to Brown, and of course I'm going to reference Brown. So you can see my idea in the middle of two other authors there, and both of them have been acknowledged. So this seems pretty easy. It's either the work of a writer, a researcher, which I paraphrase, or it's my idea. So why is paraphrasing so difficult? Well, it's impossible to paraphrase if you don't understand what you've read. And this is the hardest thing about paraphrasing. Don't rush in too soon. Make sure you understand your text and you've read it several times. If you don't understand it, reread the text and reread it until you understand it well and can determine what those 3 dot points are that you're going to then put into your words for your paraphrase. So paraphrasing shows that you can understand a text, and in fact you can't paraphrase work that you don't understand. It satisfies research criteria and can help to minimize plagiarism. So remember, if there's no reference within your writing, the reader thinks it's your idea. And if it's not your idea, it does need to be referenced, both in text and also in your reference list. That's all for today. Please watch our other videos and let's help to avoid plagiarism and improve your writing.